Hello folks, my name's Steve Sutcliffe. Welcome to the new Tyre Seeker R&D Centre in Italy. So what we have here is a selection of the world's best SUV premium summer tyres. They're a cracking bunch, but I don't know which one's going to win, so let's find out. So from Bridgestone, we're testing the excellent but not SUV specific Potenza Sport. From Continental, we're testing the ContiSport Contact 5 SUV. From Goodyear, we've got the EfficientGrip 2 SUV. From Michelin, we're testing the Pilot Sport 4 SUV. And from Pirelli, we've got the Scorpion Zero, also a bespoke SUV tyre. As usual, we've sourced all our tyres via an independent retailer to ensure complete neutrality. And we're testing each tyre in the wet and dry for handling, braking, cornering, aquaplaning and overall comfort. Our test car is a four-wheel drive Audi Q5 40 TDI S Line. And the tyre size we're testing is a common one for an SUV, a 235/55 R19. For all our tests, the ambient temperature is between 25 and 28 degrees C. Before we get going, however, please do give us a thumbs up if you like what you see in this video. And remember to subscribe to our channel if you want to see more of these vids in future. Right then, wet tracks first. Let's see who makes the best SUV tyre money can buy from our sponsor's website at etyres.co.uk. Do you need an SUV tyre on an SUV, or are you actually better off with a normal tyre or even a normal high performance tyre that just so happens to fit your SUV? Perhaps unsurprisingly, the Bridgestone, which is the normal tyre, normal high performance tyre, is really good in the wet. So despite the fact that it's not set up, not designed really to cope with the stresses that an SUV puts a tyre through, high centre of gravity, lots of weight, lots of kind of vertical movement from side to side, all those things that you associate with an SUV, the Bridgestone in the wet deals with those things really well. And it makes this Q5 feel the sharpest. It has the most grip with the Bridgestone on in the wet, and it feels a little bit better under brakes, and it changes direction better. Second to the Bridgestone is very difficult because the other four SUV tyres are kind of much of a muchness in the wet. It's remarkable how similar they are, not just against the stopwatch, which arguably has no meaning whatsoever, really, but in a way, the Michelin and the Continental and the Goodyear and the Pirelli all make the Q5 feel a little bit more kind of cuddly and predictable, and maybe just better in the wet compared with the Bridgestone, which is completely counterintuitive. But it just proves who gives a monkeys about lap times on an SUV in the wet. Not me, and I very much doubt many owners of cars like this will care that the Bridgestone is quantifiably faster than the other four SUV tyres on a Q5 around a wet handling track. So anyway, before I start talking about the dry handling of these SUV tyres, here is a little bit about our sponsor from eTyres. At etyres.co.uk, they sell tyres, lots and lots of tyres. Unlike us, however, they don't really care which ones win our group tests because they sell all of them at the very best prices you'll find anywhere on the internet. So if you do want to buy any of the tyres that we feature in this test, do yourself a favour and check them out, etyres.co.uk. Right, back to the comparison test. To the dry track it is. Once again, the Bridgestone is the quickest against the stopwatch. You can't argue with that. It's a fairly clear margin, as you'll see in the data panels that will pop on screen in a bit. But I actually think I prefer the way the Q5 feels on the Continental in the dry. And I think I prefer the way it feels on the Michelin in the dry, and on the Goodyear, and on the Pirelli. Which is best out of those four? It's kind of subjective. They're super close on lap time. But feel and comfort and refinement and predictability and wear and durability, so in other words, how good the tyre feels lap after lap, that's key. And all the SUV tyres, it's amazing how similar they feel. It's amazing how similar this Q5 feels on the Conti and on the Goodyear and on the Michelin and on the Pirelli. I definitely prefer the Continental, I think, because it's quieter. It's the quietest tyre of the 5 in the dry. The Michelin's very good too, but the Michelin slightly went off when it got hot and just allowed this Q5 to kind of move around just a little bit more than I was comfortable with. The Goodyear, excellent SUV tyre, really, really good, really quiet, really comfortable, really predictable. Just exactly the sort of tyre you want to put on a vehicle like this, and so is the Pirelli. In the wet data tests, the Bridgestone scores consistently well, as you'd expect perhaps from a more high-performance orientated tyre. Of the SUV-specific tyres, the Pirelli and Continental perform strongly, right across the board, while the Michelin deserves praise for its outstanding resistance to aquaplaning. It's a similar story in the dry data tests, up to a point. For although the sportier Bridgestone is quick and scores well for outright performance as a result, its comfort and refinement levels aren't as good as any of the SUV-specific tyres. And surprisingly, it also doesn't stop just as well as the Continental or the Pirelli in the dry. So it's very much a case of split values here, with the SUV-specific tyres providing maybe a more balanced range of attributes for a vehicle like the Audi Q5. So in the end, the Continental gets our vote for its all-round combination of talents. It's not as quick outright as the Bridgestone, but on an SUV, well, who cares? Far more important are things like ride quality, predictability, good grip, and overall refinement. Areas in which all the SUV-specific tyres are strong. The Bridgestone still comes second for us though, because it's a great tyre, seemingly on whatever vehicle it's fitted to. And the other 3 from Pirelli, Michelin and Goodyear are all really good contenders. In this test, there really are no losers, but there always has to be a winner, and that is the Continental. Thanks for watching this comparison test. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe and see you next time.